Namaste. My name is Julie and I'm Bronwyn, and I'll be guiding Bronwyn today through a Pitta Kapha practice. If you are restless, this would be a very great practice for you. If you are always going into yin practices, this also may be very beneficial for you. You will need just a mat, a quiet space, a block, maybe even a pillow, and perhaps a small little jacket or a sweater in case you get cold during the yin portion of the class. Let's practice.
So beginning this class lying down in resting pose or corpse posture with your feet about 2 feet apart, your hands a few inches from your hips, palms of your hands facing up towards the sky. You're feeling tension at all in your lower back, you can bring the soles of your feet together and create a diamond shape. You can also put a block if you need to, or blocks underneath your knees. Just relax and go into an effortless breath. Relax your face, soft jaw, soft eyes. With each breath that you take in, inhaling positive energy. And each breath that you're taking out, exhaling negative energy. And slowly moving your head from one side of your mat and over to the other in a soft and careful rotation. And bringing your head back to center. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, and carefully with helping hands, just drawing your hands up and above the back of your head, reaching for the back and pointing your toes forward. And release, and then draw your knees gently into your chest, squeeze them in tight with your arms, give yourself a hug, and rock from side to side. And then rolling yourself either twice to the right or rocking yourself up carefully to a seated position facing me. You can make it nice and comfortable. You can also sit on a bolster or a block if you wish. And try to take your belly and your chest away from each other and feeling your shoulders running down into your back pockets so there's no tension at all. The neck is long, but the chin is not super high. Let's release some more tension in our upper body by bringing your chin down towards your heart center. Inhale your chin to the skies of the room carefully, just enough that it won't compromise your breathing. And release. Right ear coming towards the right shoulder. Left ear over towards the left shoulder. Bringing your head back to center, taking your hands into Anjali Mudra, like you're holding something fragile between your palms. We're going to take this for a one deep, loud, happy Om. Take a deep breath in, inhale. Slowly making your way now, releasing hands and releasing feet, bringing yourself into tabletop position at the front of your mats. Fingers are nice and wide, and creating a capital L shape with the thumb on the left and your pointing left finger. And do the same with your hand on the right side. Pushing your pressure into the knuckles and your fingers and taking your fingertips and drawing them to the center of the palm like you're clawing your mat. Then curl your toes and lift your hips up and come into downward facing dog or mountain. Gazing through to the feet or at your navel, tailbone is lifting nice and high so that the back remains flat. And if you're feeling tension in your lower back, you can soften your knees. Make movements if you like by pedaling out your feet or just staying in the stillness of the posture, your choice. On the next breath, looking forward to the front of the room, bend your knees, walk, hop, or take your gaze towards and jump forward. Look up halfway, gaze to the horizon, flat back, and on the exhale, fold forward. Engage your thighs and raise your arms up into the sky, gaze towards the palms of your hands. And then exhale, pull your hands down towards your heart to Namaskar. Namaskar, the thumbs pressing into your sternum, feeling your heart beating. Your fingers are wide apart, pressure into the wrists, elbows are locked. On the next breath, release your hands to the outside of your thighs, palms facing outward and surrendering. Opening up your eyes and finding a focal point, push your big toes into your mat, pull the little toes off your mat, squeeze the inside of your feet towards the floor and release. Take the little toes, push them down, pull the big toes up, lift the arches of your feet and squeeze and release. Take all of your toes off of your mat, happy toes, make them as happy as you can. And draw them back into the earth so you're grounded. Now close your eyes and let your body sway forwards, backwards, side to side until you find your balance. Once you found your balance, flutter your eyes open and bring your hands back to Namaskar. Most important part of your practice again is breath, pranayama. So inhaling through the nose at a pace of 4 to 6, you're counting to yourself without a Mississippi, and on the exhale, the same count. Or take this to the breath of Ujjayi and inhale through your nose and create a whispering ha sound with your mouth closed so that the sound of the ocean is swirling around the back of your throat. From here, we're going to connect with breath and movement. Let's inhale and push our hands together into the sky. And open up through the hands and dive, forward fold, hands to legs or beside the feet on the floor. Inhale, look up just halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground, walk or jump your feet back to plank. Exhale, lower down, you can bend the knees to modify. Inhaling, lifting chest and pushing off to upward facing dog. And then carefully curl the toes and lift the hips up to downward facing dog. And settle into your downward facing dog. Again, the tailbone is high. And still clawing your mat. Feet are about 6 inches away from each other. Now on the next breath, looking forward, bend your knees, walk, hop, or jump your feet into your mats. Big toes touch, look up halfway. And exhale, fold. Activate the thighs, arms to the skies, gaze towards the palms. Exhale, push your hands down to Namaskar. We're going to add on more in this next round. Inhale, arms up into the sky, salute the light. Exhale, open and dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up just halfway. Exhale, hands to your mat, walk or jump your feet to plank. Roll yourself over towards the right side, right hand up and over the right shoulder. You can drop your knee on the left to modify. Exhale, come back to plank. Inhale, left hand up into the sky, rolling to the left side, side plank. Drop your knee on the left to right to modify. Exhale, hands to the floor and lower down, Chaturanga Yoga Push-Up. Inhale, pushing off, upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips into the sky, downward facing dog. And just settle into your space. Take child's pose whenever you need to. That's when we bend our knees to the floor. Knees are open wide and sit back into the heels of our feet. If you're feeling like you want just a little more, then come back into downward facing dog. In the next breath, look forward to the front of the room, bend your knees, walk, hop, or jump your feet into your mats. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Squeeze your thighs, raise your arms to the skies. Exhale, push your hands down, Namaskar. Inhale, arms up into the sky. Exhale, dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor, walk or jump back to plank. Exhale, lower down, hug your elbows to your sides. Inhale, upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips into the sky, downward facing dog. On the next breath, look forward, bend your knees, walk, hop, or jump your feet into your mats. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Activate the thighs, arms to the skies. Exhale, hands down, namaskar. Inhale, arms up into the sky. Exhale, big dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up just halfway. Exhale, hands to the ground, walk or jump back to plank. Roll yourself to the right hand up and over the right shoulder. Exhale, come back to plank. Inhale, left side, left hand up and over the left shoulder. Come back to plank. It's all right. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips up, downward facing dog. Again, child's pose is always optional. On the next breath, looking forward, bend your knees, walk, hop, or float your feet to your mats. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Activate the thighs, arms to the skies. Exhale, hands down, namaskar. Inhale, arms up into the sky, one more round. Exhale, dive, forward fold. We're going to put this all together. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, hands to your mat, walk or jump back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips up, downward facing dog. Lower your hips back down towards the floor. Roll yourself to the right hand up and over the right shoulder. Side plank, try to stack your feet. It's okay if you can't. Exhale, hands back. Inhale, over to the other side, left hand up and over the left shoulder. Come back, plank position. Exhale, lower down slowly. Inhale, upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips into the sky, downward facing dog. The next breath, inhale, right leg lifts up into the sky. Take the right foot, step it to your hands. Inhale, arms up into a lunge. You have an option of staying in lunge or taking your hands down to namaskar, so your hands are directly under or right in the middle of your chest. On the next breath, I want you to find a focal point on the floor. Keep looking at that same focal point and push yourself into the leg of the right as you engage the leg of the left. Really important that you engage that left leg. Make happy toes. By engaging, that means you are tightening up that thigh of the left. Couple more breaths. On the next breath, both feet come back together. Exhale, dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Hands to your mat, walk or jump your feet to plank. Now you have an option, downward facing dog from here, or chaturanga, yoga push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips up to downward facing dog. So we all meet back in downward facing dog if you've chosen to leave out this vinyasa. On the next breath, inhale, left leg lifts up into the sky. And take the left foot right to your hands, knees stacked over your ankle joint. Physically put it there if it won't cooperate. Inhale, arms up into the sky. You have an option of staying here or bringing your hands once again down to namaskar. Namaskar is when the thumbs are over your heart. Now find a focal point. When you're ready, look at the floor, find that focal point and engage and push yourself off. Now if you can't go there, keep that toe on the floor, that right toe. Keep exaggerating that flexibility, that flexing of the toes. Breath is powerful so that you don't cramp up. Inhale, feet come back together. Exhale, dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up just halfway. Hands to your mat, walk or jump your feet back to plank. Exhale, lower down or go into downward dog. Inhale to upward facing dog if you've chosen Vinyasa. Curl the toes, hips up, downward facing dog. In the next breath, look forward, bend your knees, walk, hop, or jump your feet into your mats, big toes touch. Look up halfway. Exhale, fold. This time, bend the knees nice and low and raise your arms up into the sky. You're feeling issues in the shoulders today, hands in namaskar. You want to go further, lift the heel only of the right and take your right ankle over the thigh of the left. You wish to go a little further, bring your hands down, out to the side, and lower your chest towards that leg. You'd like to go a little further, maybe interlace your fingers behind your back and pull them up towards the back of your head. A few more deep breaths here. Now on the next breath, inhale, come back up. Take both of your feet, bring them back together. Arms release up into the sky, big breath. Exhale, dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, hands to your mat, walk or jump your feet back to plank. Option again, downward facing dog or chaturanga. Chaturanga, inhale to upward facing dog. Curl the toes, hips into the sky, downward facing dog. Keep focusing on that breath. Don't lose track of it. It's the most important part. Next breath, look forward to the front of your mats, bend your knees, walk, hop, or jump your feet into your mats, big toes touch, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Activate the thighs, bend the knees low, reach your arms up into the sky. Going further, find that focal point again and lift the heel on the left. Left ankle over the leg of the right if you'd like to go further, making that figure four. You'd like to go further, draw your arms out to the side and bring your chest towards the leg. If you want to go further, interlace your fingers behind your back and pull them up to the back of your head. Keep lasering into that spot. The next breath, both feet come back together. Inhale, arms back up into the sky, release them. Exhale, dive, forward fold. Inhale, look up just halfway. Exhale, hands to your mat. Walk or jump your feet back to plank. Now you have an option here. Drop your knees to the floor or stay as you are. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Come into one high plank. Exhale again to chaturanga. Inhale, high plank. One more time, chaturanga. And once again to high plank. And then drop your knees towards the floor. Tabletop position. So if you have an issue with your knees on your mat, you have an option here. You can take a section of your mat and flip it over in the center, or you can flip it over from the sides. Now look towards your mat. Let's see how our back is doing today. Let's inhale, bring the belly and the chest down, dropping, letting your tailbone lift, chin is high. Then exhale, round your back and gaze to the belly. Inhale, come back into a cow, chest and belly dropping, tailbone lifts, look up. Exhale, round your back and gaze back towards the tummy, coiling in. One more time to a cow. And one more time to a cat. And then slowly release. Let's bring ourselves down onto our belly and our chest and walk your feet back. Now you're going to come down onto your elbows or come up onto your elbows. Now if you have an option here, you can place a block underneath your chest. If you want to go a little bit more for supporting the chin and the chest, you can bring that block so that the chest is collapsing slightly to the floor, but your chin is supported with your block. If you want to go a little further, you can also remove the block completely. And if you want to go even further, you can place that block directly under your arms so that your upper body is a little higher. We don't want to strengthen the muscle groups of the lower back here. We want to release, relax your bottom, relax your thighs, and just rest in the posture. Options you can do to avoid a busy mind is to maybe draw yourself into repeating a word, a string of words, prayer, maybe a lyric to a song to yourself over and over. You can just focus on a softer breath, still 4 to 6 counts in and 4 to 6 counts out. Or maybe go to a memory, a visualization, something that makes you smile. You're working with the chakra of Anahata, which is green at the heart, for love and joy, compassion. Anytime during this time that you feel the need to come out of the pose earlier on, I want you to try and do it so that it is very soft and gentle, so you don't disrupt this peace that you're creating. And it's a safer way of coming out of your yin. We're going to take this for a few more deep breaths. On the next breath, slowly bring yourselves away from your blocks or your props. And I want you to rest yourself completely on your belly and take your forehead and press it into your stacked hands or even into your mat. Just release your arms and stay here for a couple of breaths. And while we're doing this, we're also going to do a breath called Brahmari breath. This is called honeybee breath and is really good for our anxiety. So we want to take a breath in as much as we can, and when we exhale, we're going to be making the sound of a honeybee, like this. Until that breath is completely empty. So let's take 3 Brahmari breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. want you to now slowly just go back to a 4 to 6 count pace with your breath. Bend your knees and slowly bring your feet up into the sky and sway them gently from side to side. Yeah. Take your time. On the next breath, release and bring yourself back into that tabletop position. And then take your knees out as wide as you can. Sit back into the heels of your feet and come into wide child's pose for a moment. And feel that tension in your lower back releasing. And on the next breath, carefully make your way back up to tabletop position. And take your arm now on the left and take your left arm up as high as you can and thread that left arm all the way down until you get to the left shoulder. Now, if you do not get to the left shoulder, this is where a pillow or a block can be placed underneath your head or your shoulder. You can keep your hand on the right where it is or bring your right arm around your back and tuck it into the hip of the left side. And if you wish to go a little bit further, you can take your leg on the right and bring it towards the hand of the left side. And just close your eyes. Our first chakra we are opening up is yellow, located at the belly. It is called Manipura. It gives us energy when we are feeling sluggish. It helps us with endurance, helps us with a positive effect to our digestive system as we massage internal organs. Our other chakra is Visuddha, which is blue, located at the throat. As we bring positive energy to our oral care, strengthens our glands. Visuddha is the chakra of expression, language, and communication. Just close your eyes. Staring just gives us more anxiety. Where are you supposed to go if you're feeling the need to come out of this pose is, again, just going back to child's pose. We've got a few more deep breaths here. On the next breath, slowly take the arm that's behind your back and bring it back down to the floor. And then take the leg and bring it back into place. And by bracing yourself with that arm on the right, take your left arm and slide it out and back up into the sky. And release back to tabletop position. We come, curling your toes, lifting your hips up and moving your way back to downward facing dog. Relax that head. But movements can be made here, just making sure that they are soft, gentle. Nothing very violent at all, no shaking. Drawing yourself back down to that tabletop position. And again, we want to ensure also that the hips are going to be directly underneath our knees. You can again prop your knees up with your mats if you need to, or even anything like a soft sweater. Now taking your arm on the right, reaching it up into the sky. And right arm comes all the way down, threading it through onto the right shoulder. Use a block if you need to underneath the head or shoulder. Just staying here. If you'd like to go further, left arm comes behind your back and tuck it into the front of the hip of the right. If you wish to take this a little further, left leg is going to straighten and bring that left foot all the way towards the right hand. And keep focusing on your breathing, your meditation you've chosen today. And if there's any distraction that you happen to hear, try to allow yourself to distract that distraction, again by using your form of meditation. We're going to take this for just a few more deep breaths. This particular twist is also good for the complement of the back bend that we've done at the beginning of the practice. The next breath, release the hand, place it back down. That would be the left hand. Right hand, or leg rather, on the left side is going to come out. And now brace yourself and bring that arm on the right back up into the sky. And exhale, right hand back down. Let's curl our toes and bring ourselves back into that downward facing dog. Make any movements that you need to. Just make sure that they're gentle and soft. Yin is about softness. There's no strength except for mindful strength. Now on the next breath, take yourself down onto your knees. You can either cross out your ankles and roll over your feet, or you can bring your hips to one side and move your legs around, making your way all the way down towards the floor. And we've already done a twist, so we're not going to do a supine twist, which is how I usually like to finish off my practice. However, I do also recommend that because we're doing yin and you may have a light sweat, that you may want to put something on that might be a little bit more comfortable, like maybe a soft, again, something soft or warm, or even a blanket or a towel. Let's take our knees first into our chest, just for one more. And bring your knees into the armpits or shoulders. Take hold of the side of the legs or the soles of your feet and let one foot push into the sky and alternate with the other, in an inch and a half, nothing too crazy. And take both of your knees and bring them in towards you and wrap your arms around them nice and tight. Give yourself this amazing hug. Lift your nose up to your kneecap, shoulder blades off of your mat, squeeze tight, 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 tight. And release down, preparing yourself again. So let's take our feet just a few inches away from each other, or 6 inches away from each other. And your hands just a few inches from your hips, palms facing upwards. So again, surrendering to relaxation. Let's take all the muscles of our arms and our legs and just tense them. And release the lower back, the upper back, the middle back. Squeeze it into the mat. Feel your chest, your abdominals rise. And release. Moving your head from side to side, nice and slow. When we come back to center, let's inhale through the nose at a pace of 4 to 6. And exhale all that breath out through the nose. Once the breath is completely all gone, just inhale and hold that breath for a count of 7. No Mississippi. Exhale through the nose, the breath all out. Inhale for 4. Hold your breath for 7. Exhale that breath out. And once again, inhale for 4. And hold for 7. Exhale that breath out. And take one more deep breath in. Add a little bit more breath. Exhale with force out through your mouth. Now let go. And soften. And relax. And let yourself go to a resting place right before sleep. Feel that tingling sensation throughout your whole entire body of prana. And slowly start to make your way by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes, drawing your consciousness back and towards your bodies. Start to bring movement slowly to the arms and the legs, the hands, the feet. Taking your arms again and reaching them up and over the back of your mat And spread your toes nice and wide apart and squeeze them into the soles. And release. Draw your knees to chest, squeeze them in tight. Give yourself a hug with your arms and rock from right to left and left to right. And just roll yourself to the right side of your mat, maybe with your right arm being used as a pillow. Is there anybody in your life that you can send positive energy to? Maybe even to the world? Dedicating your practice. Making your way with helping hands to a seated position where you're going to face me at the front. Bringing your hands into Namaskar. We're going to finish off this practice today with 1 Om and 3 Shanti. Let's take a deep breath in and inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And bringing your right hand over your left from your heart. So left hand on the top of the heart, right hand on top. Feeling your warmth, your joy, your love, your bliss. And to you and to your families, namaste.